The spiritualization of the human body is dependent upon the awakening of the Kundalini energy. All the karma works through our body. Our emotions and our mind, our thoughts and our feelings, our stuck feelings, our habit patterns of thought, are all making our body what it is, how our body moves itself, how our body sounds, what sort of conditions and imbalances we have in our body. It's all a product of the mind and the feelings and the body attempting to work together to either bring healing or bring crisis. The Kundalini energy as it rises has an effect upon the body because it is a very fast electrical pranic energy that moves up the spine and around, looking for blocks and attempting to work through to dissolve those blocks. And we're going to notice it, and we're going to feel it in more ways than one. We're going to feel it in our body. We're going to feel it in our lives, in our relationships. We're going to see it when we look in the mirror because we are changing. Our velocity when we work with the process is having a greater capacity to speed up or increase than the average person who is not having a Kundalini awakening. Everyone has the potential, but you have to be at the karmic crossroads for this awakening to happen. Most people that have a Kundalini awakening is just a continuation of that Kundalini energy being awakened in prior lives. Because it's a long road, and having an awakening is one thing, but us doing what we need to do to facilitate the progress and having the karmic conditions to do so is another thing. So when we understand that our spiritual life depends upon our physical body, and our physical body is a sign and a symptom of what is going on at a deeper level, then we can begin to understand how important the practical things are that I continually talk about. Because without that foundation, without the ability of our body to relax, our body cannot let go. And so when the Kundalini energy is pushing the things to the surface, we're going to clench up even tighter because our survival instincts kick in. We're unfamiliar with this territory. And when that happens, there's just more energy behind our fears and anxiety rather than those things being dissolved. Those things are becoming increasingly obvious to us, which then creates a whole nother chain of effects and digs a deeper groove. So the potential is there, but there also needs to be the understanding and the experience and the wisdom of how to deal with this energy. The number one thing is that it is a spiritualization of the human body. There can be no liberation without the spiritualization of the human body. There can be no liberation without an awakened Kundalini. The Kundalini energy rises, works its way up, and creates a clear passageway for us to become the vessel of light, for us to move our habitual personality patterns out of the way, step back and surrender, let go and let God. While the energy's moving, a little trickle goes through and we're still feeling the connection. But that trickle can grow the more the blocks are released. And pretty soon, it's just wave after wave of energy moving up and down through our spine, through our being, so that we become that vessel of sound and light that has a healing effect on planet Earth as long as we are on it. And the more people that are facilitating and becoming the vessels of this process, the greater chances we have of more people being pulled into the same process, because the energy is contagious. And this is why I say to go around people who have a positive effect on your spiritual energy if you want to be of benefit to anybody, because we first must put ourselves in that position of stability and realization before we can start saving the world, because the world is going to win and the energy of the world out there will have its effect on us, and we'll just keep spinning in our old programs, because those old programs that we've inherited, that the traumas that have happened, all the patterns that we are, have made us who we are, and it's very hard to turn that around. But when we have the assistance of this energy rising, and when we have the proper guidance, And most importantly, when we have the determination to stick with it, the determination to be consistently determined, really is helpful in times like these. Because the energy starts moving, we feel it, we feel different. It can be very positive. We can have all sorts of magical things happening in our lives. We can feel the energy in our body. We have all the signs that something is going on. We feel the goddess moving through us. And then we have the moments of meeting the obstacle within, meeting the emotional block within, becoming painfully aware of the mental habit patterns that affect our emotions, that throw our body off, that create a chain of events that we have to then reverse and come back to, okay, this isn't me, this is a pattern, and it is a very instilled and deep pattern that's going to take a lot of effort to transform, so that I am not caught lifetime after lifetime digging a deeper rut of this habit pattern that my ancestors were manifesting and that now I am manifesting. So surrender is not something that happens once. It's every moment. And it's constantly becoming aware of where we're holding on and where our body is tight, and working with the tightness in our body so that the energy can move. And when the energy starts to move, we have a chance of the energy letting go of us. And so the spiritualization and the increasing of the velocity of that energy is dependent upon how we work with our basic life to allow our body to feel like it will be able to let go and relax, and let those things that are pushed down, that our body is clenched around and holding down for our safety and security, to let it go, to feel strong and safe enough to let it go, so that we can experience what has been blocked. So will you feel depressed? Will you feel grief? Will you maybe have these feelings and have no reason why they're happening? It's just coming up and you don't know why. Anger? Yes, because that's healing. That's the poison working its way through. Should we go and look for targets in order to feel like we have control over these feelings, in order to blame someone for our anger or our pain? No. We should recognize that our mind is panicking to form a story to understand what's happening to it. And while the story may be enticing, and there could be some truth that someone did this to cause this, you have to realize that in order for you to be empowered, we have to stop giving our power away to anybody outside of us who has made us caught in this painful pattern of emotion and mind, working at cross purposes to our spiritual evolution. So it's not under their control of what they did, it's under my control. How will I get this energy unstuck so that my energy can keep rising, come into my heart, and I can feel the love and compassion of a saint, which is what a human needs to become to truly become a human. Constant survival mode is deeply ingrained in our DNA. For us to get out of constant survival mode, we're going to have to tune in a lot to the spiritual energy that is out there waiting to help us. But we have to take the effort, and we have to make the stand, and nobody can do it for us, and nobody can lift us up and carry us. We can get the support, but we have to be the one to get up to do it. We have to be the one to have the self-discipline to do it. We have to be the one that understands how important it is to do it. Because sometimes you have a life where it is a positive thing that you're having the spiritual growth, but it feels like you're cornered and there's no way out, and you're forced to deal with these things, and things happen to your body, and things happen in your life that are traumatic, and tragedies and grief, and it feels like you're cursed. But really what it is it's a speeding up of your life and your soul in this lifetime, so that you can advance farther than average, so that you can finally break through. Because sometimes we need to be painfully aware of the block so that we will do the work that it takes to move through that block. And this will involve uncomfortable territories for people. Like, we will have to open our hearts to the pain. We will have to go there and acknowledge how we actually feel. And it may be directed at other people or things from our childhood. But what I'm saying is that we can feel the anger and the rage and all of that. And it could be about our mother or our father or whoever. But in the end, when that works itself out, we realize that they're people too. That was their role in this lifetime. But we're all just here to reckon with our own story, with our own karma. We have this body to work through our karma. This body is magical. This body is sound and light. We think it's just this, and it's just so dense and it's so heavy, but it's actually not. It is dense and heavy because we are weighed down by our karma. Why you think saints levitate? They levitate because there's nothing holding them down from heaven. Heaven is just right there. We are the place of heaven on earth when we let ourselves be, when we do what it takes, when we realize that this is a place where we will get pulled in to materialism, pulled out of our hearts into the world, out of fear, out of need for approval, out of need for companionship, and we will become someone we're not because we think that we need to do that to get those things, that we need to fit in, we need to align ourselves with a group. The truth is, we have to be absolutely true to ourselves and have faith that we will magnetize the right energy in our lives that we need, rather than becoming something we're not, thinking we're going to get something when all we're going to get is more confusion in our soul and more karma to unravel at a future date. So to take the stand and to say, this is me right now, this is my body, I'm going to stop trying to get away from my body and get away from the feelings that are subtle within my body by activities that pull me out of myself, so that I can ignore and deny and pretend I have a spiritual life when really it's just a game I've been playing for way too long. And when you're being blessed by this energy, you're going to see your patterns, and you're not going to want to know sometimes, because the more light you have within, the more you're aware of your darkness. So you're like, did I just get a lot worse? Or did I just not see it before? You just didn't see it before. And so it feels like, oh my God, I have got a lot of problems. And you have to stick with it. Because every time we turn our heads and go the other way, we're just wasting time. And the only power and truth we have is the power and truth we give to ourselves. The only way out is in, right? Yoga is the path of the self, through the self, to the self. Yoga is the path of me, through me, whoever I think I am, to the real me. It is you. You who are you. The false you, with all the hang-ups and pain, is in the way of the true you. And so the path is through the falseness. This doesn't mean I'm spiritual, so I feel bliss and I act a certain way and I smile and I'm like extra good all the time. No, it means that we get real. And we get responsible with that realness. And we appreciate how unique and authentic we are, rather than trying to look at everyone else and become more like them. Everybody is lost. When the Kundalini energy rises, you are required to be a leader. And it is not easy to be a leader because people will challenge you, people will make you doubt yourself, people will make you question yourself. And when you do that, all hope is lost because someone has to be in charge of you, and that's you. We can't let other people be in charge of us or what we know or how we feel. When we have the wisdom to seek guidance, when we have the wisdom to feel we need a spiritual teacher, we will do that. We have to know when the time is right for us, and you will feel it in your heart. And the more that Goddess within you awakens, the more you will know what you need. And we cannot deny the truth of our soul. Our body is a divine vessel. The energy will work through our body. There will be signs and symptoms that is happening. You will feel it. And you have to develop a deep relationship with your body on a deep level inside and with your subconscious mind, and really go within to listen and to feel what you need, when you need to sleep, what you need to eat, who you need to be around, what you need to feel, and stop judging yourself. and just trust that you may feel terrible today. You may have so much pain, but once it's gone, and it may feel like it won't be gone ever. But the fear of the fear is a bigger problem than the fear. So being panicked that you can't stop being upset only makes it worse. So we have to just trust and just let go and float down the river of grace wherever it takes us. And trust that we have come this far, that we have done the best that we could, and that there is such a thing as God who guides and looks after our life. And if we just do, honestly, the best we can, however feeble we feel it is, we will be lifted by God, and we will be guided, and we will have all the help that we need to make it through to the other side.